I've taught the CFA for years. The charter has never mattered more. But the syllabus you're studying is about to disappear. If you're preparing for the CFA Level 1 exam in 2027, listen carefully. Whatever notes you're holding, whatever videos you've been watching, whatever PDF you downloaded last month, parts of it just became outdated. CFA Institute has released the 2027 curriculum update, and buried inside that document, which most candidates haven't even opened yet, are changes significant enough that some of you will need to update meaningful portions of your prep. I'm Yash, co-founder of QuintEdge. We've taught CFA, FRM and ACCA to over 50,000 students. I've been tracking CFA curriculum updates for years now, and I'll tell you upfront, this one is different. Most updates are tweaks. This one is a statement about where the CFA charter is heading and what the future analyst is expected to know. I just spent the last 48 hours going through every line of the official 2027 update document. And I've turned everything you're about to hear into a free quick reference guide. Every change, every CFA Institute source, every action you should take based on your exam window. Link is in the description. Download it before you watch the rest of this, or after. Either way, it's yours. Now here's what I found. An entire prerequisite reading gone. Multiple topics renamed. Ethics restructured across all 3 levels. A new reading on artificial intelligence at level 1. And if you were planning to defer your exam, the deferral policy has changed too. In the next 12 minutes, I'll break down every major change, what's been removed, what's been added, and most importantly, what each of these changes is actually telling us about where the CFA program and the finance industry itself is heading. Let's get into it. Let's start with the topic that saw the biggest change at level 1, quantitative methods. CFA Institute has done 3 things to quant that most candidates haven't noticed yet. And honestly, this section is going to tell you more about where the CFA charter is heading than any other. Number 1, the quantitative methods prerequisite reading, the one that taught you basic statistics, probability and distributions, has been retired, officially removed from the 2027 curriculum. Now you're thinking, great, less to study. Not exactly. They didn't remove it to make your life easier. They removed it because the entire quant topic has been reorganized around real-world applications. The basics are now woven directly into the main readings with much more depth. Here's what's new. Estimation and simulation got expanded coverage. Historical simulation, bootstrapping, Monte Carlo methods, all with step-by-step implementation in Excel and Google Sheets. You're not just reading about Monte Carlo anymore, you're building it. CFA Institute is essentially saying, if you're going to call yourself an analyst, you should be able to construct these models, not just explain what they do. When we teach Monte Carlo at QuintEdge, we already make students build it from scratch in Excel. So this change isn't surprising to us. It's CFA Institute catching up to where serious prep should already be. Number 2. Portfolio optimization readings have been aligned with the level 1 and level 2 Python fundamentals practical skills module. Thus, if you don't know basic Python, that gap will start to show in your prep. Now, Python isn't directly tested, but indirectly, it absolutely is. You should know basic Python anyway. The market expects it. And number 3, CFA Institute has added a brand new reading on financial data science, AI, and large language models at level 1. This isn't them adding a cool topic. This is them officially acknowledging that the future analyst day involves working alongside AI, not avoiding it. The reading is at vocabulary and conceptual level, not a deep technical AI module, but the fact that it exists in the L1 curriculum is the signal. One more thing. CFA Institute is launching something called Equation Explorers, interactive lessons where you can adjust variables and watch equations respond in real time. Time value of money is the first concept getting this treatment. Honestly, this is overdue. CFA Institute is finally treating learning like learning, not like reading a textbook. Now let's talk about equity at level 1. If you're prepping for L1 in 2027, this section will look very different from your 2026 material. First, the topic isn't called equity investments anymore. It's just equities. Subtle, but it tells you something. Honestly, this is the rewrite I've been waiting for. The old approach taught valuation like a textbook exercise. The new one treats it like a job. Here's what's actually changed inside. Earlier, you'd learn DDM, then FCFE, then residual income, then comparables. Almost like isolated tools in a toolbox. The 2027 curriculum changes that approach completely. Now, equity valuation is grounded in financial statement forecasting. You'll learn to build disaggregated models, separately projecting revenue, margins, investment, and financing. Sound familiar? That's because it's how buy-side and sell-side analysts actually work in practice. In our QuintEdge investment banking program, we've been teaching disaggregated three-statement modeling for years. Now CFA Level 1 is officially adopting that approach. And here's the meaningful shift. Scenario analysis with probability weighting is now introduced as standard valuation practice. So you're learning to build base, bull and bear cases and assign probabilities to each. Why does this matter? Because if you walk into an equity research interview after going through this curriculum, you'll sound like someone who actually understands valuation, not someone who memorized a formula. Industry analysis has been overhauled too. Porter's 5 forces and Pestle, frameworks every commerce student has memorized, are no longer treated as standalone theory. They are explicitly connected to valuation narratives. You can't just write high competition and move on. You'll be expected to translate it into what it does to revenue, to margin, to multiples. But here's the most surprising change. Brand new modules on equity research itself, initiating coverage, sell-side versus buy-side research, activist short sellers. 3 years ago, this content would have been in an investment banking syllabus, not CFA Level 1. The fact that it's here now is a clear signal. CFA Institute is actively positioning the L1 curriculum to prepare you for sell-side and buy-side roles, not just theoretical understanding. Oh, and 2 name changes. Corporate issuers is now corporate finance. Portfolio management at level 1 is now portfolio construction. Okay, this next change applies to you whether you are at level 1, level 2 or level 3. Ethics has been restructured across all 3 levels for the 2027 curriculum. Each standard is now its own module with its own targeted practice problems built right into it. Most candidates lose points in ethics because they treat it as one giant chapter. They read all of it, but they master none of it. The new modular format forces you to slow down, standard by standard, and that's exactly where ethics points are won. At QuintEdge, our ethics module is already structured this way, standard by standard with practice after each. So this 2027 change just confirms what we believed was the right approach all along. But there's a catch. The new format rewards standard by standard mastery. So if your ethics study material is built around the old block structure, your practice patterns are going to feel disconnected from how the curriculum is now organized. And in an exam where 5 extra ethics points can be the difference between pass and fail, that disconnect is a real problem. My recommendation, if you're sitting any level of CFA in 2027, make sure your ethics prep follows the new modular standard by standard format. Don't try to retrofit old block style notes. CFA Institute has changed its deferral policy starting with 2027 exams. Here's the headline. Paid deferrals, the option to pay a fee and push your exam to a later window, are no longer being offered for 2027 exams. CFA Institute confirmed this directly on their official deferral policy page. Emergency deferrals still exist, but the criteria have been narrowed. Life-threatening illness for you or an immediate family member still qualifies. Pregnancy, which used to qualify on its own, has been removed from emergency deferrals except in cases of life-threatening complications. Look, I'll be straight with you. I actually think CFA Institute is right on this one. Too many candidates were buying deferrals as a way to procrastinate the hard work of finishing prep. The new policy forces accountability. Register only when you're ready. CFA Institute's reasoning is that exams are now offered more frequently. 4 windows per year for level 1, 3 for level 2, 2 for level 3. So if your situation changes, the next exam isn't 6 months or a year away anymore. The expectation is that you re-register rather than defer. Here's the practical advice. Don't register for an exam window unless you're confident you can be ready. Register late, not early. Use the extra months to prepare, not to defer. Alright, we've covered the changes. Now the question you're actually here for. What should you do? 3 clear scenarios. Scenario 1. You're writing CFA Level 1 in August or November 2026. You're on the 2026 curriculum, your prep is fine. Stick with your current material, finish strong. Scenario 2. You're writing CFA Level 1 in February 2027 or any window after that. You're on the 2027 curriculum. Your study material needs to be aligned to the 2027 syllabus, especially for quantitative methods, equities, and ethics. If your provider hasn't released 2027 material yet, wait for it. Don't start with outdated content and try to patch it later. Patching never works for structural changes like these. Scenario 3. You're writing level 2 or level 3 in any 2027 window. The structural changes at L2 and L3 are smaller compared to L1, but ethics has been restructured for you too. Refresh your ethics with 2027 material that follows the new modular standard by standard format. The rest of your core prep largely carries over. Now here's what most prep providers won't tell you straight. The 2027 cycle is genuinely a better cycle to be on. The Python alignment, the AI rating, the rebuilt equities track. This curriculum is one of the most career aligned cycles CFA Institute has put out. If you're sitting in 2027, you're actually getting a better deal than candidates who came before you. Before you click off, two things. First, the free quick reference guide I mentioned at the start. It's a 9-page PDF with every change broken down, the actual annotated screenshots from CFA Institute's official 2027 update document, and a scenario-based action plan based on your exam window. Link is in the description. Download it. It'll save you the trouble of rewatching this video to find a specific point. Second, at QuintEdge, we are rebuilding our entire CFA Level 1 program for the 2027 syllabus. The Quant module now has excellent Python case studies built in. The Equities track teaches you to build research reports, not just memorize valuation formulas. The Ethics module is fully standard by standard, the way the 2027 curriculum expects you to study it. If you want to be on a 2027 aligned program from day one, with faculty who've been teaching this approach long before CFA Institute made it official, that link is also in the description. Drop a comment with your level and target exam window. I'll personally reply with a recommendation. Hit subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. See you in the next one.